The area we're in is quite rural. It's about 8 miles northwest of town. At about 1:30 yesterday afternoon, a motorist was driving along this gravel road. That's when he made the grisly discovery. Now, the temperature on my phone tells me that it's 27 degrees, but just from standing out here, it feels a lot hotter than that. And there's a reason for it. Enbridge as well as TransCanada Corporation are fighting regulatory as well as very strong public concerns regarding their wishes to expand their pipeline network. Canadian troops are set to pull out of Afghanistan in 2 years' time, but recently Prime Minister Stephen Harper said he would examine all options before the 2014 deadline. But the troops here at CFB Wainwright are well removed from political debate. Their sole concern is getting ready for wherever the government sends them next. With that said, they're going back to basics, preparing for conventional warcraft. The troops have just finished off the second of 3 training exercises that will happen today. Just in behind me, they're doing a debrief. That's where they talk about what went well, what went wrong, and what they need to improve on. UCAP News contacted the Saskatchewan Ministry for Highways and Infrastructure. Since then, a team has come out to this area to assess what exactly is happening here.
Even more troubling was a question from a young constituent.
Most people my age probably won't vote this year, myself included.
But once the polls were closed, the results rolled in soon after, and it wasn't long before PC candidate Richard Starkey was announced the winner. Justin looks just like any other 6-year-old boy. He likes to run around, play with his brother, and just be a kid. It was back in January when this family's life took a turn. Now 12 years old, Patrick has taken huge strides, overcoming the many challenges that come with autism, thanks in part to his loving mom. Much of that work would not have been possible without the support of his wife, Jean, creating a bit of a twist to this year's award.
Normally it's usually just the one recipient, but this year both have been involved.
As chairlifts across the province remain empty, these ones are warm and ready for the season.
I am stoked.
All thanks to the repositioning of a $6 million snowmaking system left behind from the Olympic Legacy project.
It's basically our snowmaking system that's made the biggest difference this year. Over the summer months, we relocated 5 of our snow guns.
Now, Canadian children's artist Fred Penner is in the border city tonight, entertaining audiences of all ages. But for one border city family, the chance to see the entertainer was almost out of reach. Kelsea Bloxam explains.
The Johnstons are a family of 7, but from time to time they grow to be a clan of 9.
We have children with disabilities, and quite often we need aides to accompany us to make it possible for our children to be able to attend any kind of events like their peers do.
The family usually has no problem getting accommodation for their 2 aid workers, but after contacting the Vic Juba Community Theatre, their request was denied.
We were told that they would talk to their board, and they decided that under the law that they had met all their legal requirements. They have disabled parking, they have access to washrooms for disabled people.
In a written statement from the theatre's general manager, Nadine Walker-Perry, she says their policy for accommodating guests with special needs does not allow aides to attend their shows for free, and tickets need to be purchased.
The one thing that they are missing is people with cognitive disabilities are far often overlooked, and we were quite surprised to come up against such a struggle.
That's when their aid workers stepped in.
About a week and a half ago, Lisa hadn't had any luck in getting any comp tickets from the Vic Juba, so I said I'm going to try and find his contact online and just email him directly.
But after finding out he was unable to get comp tickets for his own show, Penner went the distance for the family.
I wasn't sure whether I could get any complimentary tickets for it. I mean, that sometimes is or isn't a possibility. And when that wasn't a possibility, then I said, great, well, no problem at all. I'll buy a couple of tickets for you.
And Penner did all of this not even knowing why the family needed the extra tickets.
And now that I know there's an autistic connection, that is particularly important to me, because I've had many communications from families in the past who feel that my music particularly connects with the autistic child. For whatever reason that is, I'm very, very pleased.
And for the kids, they couldn't be more excited.
Well, our plans are for tonight is especially going to the Fred Penner concert.
And one final word from the youngster.
What is a good singer? A great singer is someone who has a great heart.
Kelsea Bloxam, New Cap News.
Catch Us and Them, a grassroots theatrical performance which draws on inspiration from the Vancouver riots as well as Occupy Wall Street. The show on November the 4th, the Vancouver Aquarium is hosting Toast to the Coast, an annual fundraiser in support of the conservation of our waterways and aquatic life.
Hello and welcome to the Vancouver Pride Parade and of course to the travel show. I'm your host Kelsea Bloxam and I am so excited to be here. This year it's even bigger and better than last year when we saw 64,000 people here. We're standing here with two lovely ladies, and what are you guys doing here today? And people lined up mid-afternoon just to get